Previously on Ace Attorney.
No way. I refuse to believe it. Ms. Sykes made a childish, naive, and cruel mistake. She thought that if a robot could be dismantled and vanish without a trace. Oh, God! Edgeworth? The hell? Prosecutor Edgeworth, I agree with Mr. Wright. What the hell? I was thinking she tried to fix her mother. If you're about to claim what I think you are, I demand that you word it as delicately as you can. With all due respect, Your Honor, all I can do is present the truth as it stands. The reason the defendant moved the victim's body to the operating table.
Hold it!
No! Don't say another word. Just stop! Was to dismantle the evidence so that she could get away with her crime.
Hello, YouTube. I'm Unca Crunk. Welcome back to Ace Attorney. And Simon Blackquill is taking the stand in the, not actually a trial, but still a trial of Athena Sykes in the murder of her own mother.
I went to the Cosmos Space Center with the intention of killing Dr. Sykes. But when I got to the robotics lab, I found Athena there instead. I would not be swayed from my purpose, so I waited for Dr. Sykes to return. And then I committed the act. Ah, how cathartic it was.
Bull! Nonsense!
A little Ponko here witnessed the victim falling. In other words,
Objection!
I don't need any of your other words, old man. I can guess what happened. Which would be? She fell means she fell. Merely that. A mother and child fooling around. Perhaps she tripped. Not that it matters. When I entered the lab, there was no trace of Dr. Sykes to be seen. There was no dead body either, of course, meaning she must have left the room. So the murder occurred after the time period Ponko described in her testimony. You should hardly take stock in the words of a wind-up toy.
Objection!
And how do you explain the fact that the defendant had the robot move something? Athena was always tinkering with robots on the operating table to amuse herself. She always had Ponko move the heavy ones for her. That day was no different. Ponko moved a heavy robot for Athena. This is awful. What he's saying seems to make sense, and yet...
Objection!
Prosecutor Blackquill, are you trying even now to turn away from the truth? Don't you realize we could bring the Dark Age of the law to a close today?
Objection!
You expect too much from me. I'm just a murderer beyond redemption. Why don't you just let me go so I can settle down into hell? Prosecutor Blackwell's execution is tomorrow. The truth doesn't come out now, it's all over. Are you saying that the little girl and the robot had nothing to do with the murder? That's right. So let's hear your verdict. If we don't hurry, I might miss the ferry across the Styx.
Don't you dare, Judge. Don't forget I have hostages over here. And Simon, how long are you going to cover for her?
Miss Blackquill! Forgive me, Aura. I never wanted you to do anything like this for me. But you agreed to this trial. If you have a counter-argument, then please present your evidence. That's the rule of the courtroom. Isn't that right, Chief
Prosecutor. Blackquill, you selfish...
Well, to be frank, I don't like this, but it's my duty to make a decision. No one has a counter-argument, I will announce my verdict.
Is this really happening? Is it really going to end just like it did 7 years ago? I wanted to do it so bad. Even now I want to fly out of here and go save him. No, I can't tell her. How can I lie to Athena? I can't prove Prosecutor Blackwill's innocence in this trial. I don't think Athena will ever forgive me. Can't let this happen. I just don't have the evidence to counter Prosecutor Blackwill's testimony. Man. What? Athena, what are you? How are you? Are you feeling okay? I can hear it. I can hear the voice of his heart. He's hiding something. How did you get here? Pearl, you dumbass. Oh, of course. Oh, if he really is, I could sure use Athena's help here. Her power might be just the thing to get us through this.
Objection!
Sykes, Dono. No need for you to chime in here. Just accept that you're innocent.
Objection!
These past 7 years, they've been just as hard on me, you know. What are you talking about? Do you remember that horrible, horrible trial? Please, you have to listen to me. He didn't kill her. His heart is screaming that he didn't kill her. Even now, every time I stand in a courtroom, it comes back to haunt me. Not being heard, no matter how hard you try. Feeling so helpless. Caught in people's stares. So scared that it feels like your chest is in a vice. I'm terrified of courtrooms. I want to run out of that door even now. And yet, you found a way to keep your fears at bay and became a lawyer. Thanks. That's because one day I came to realize that I had to fight. I couldn't give up. I exercised hard and I studied hard. I wanted to become the strongest lawyer I could be. This day has finally come. The day I've been looking forward to with all my heart. This is why I became a lawyer. This is why I studied psychology. It was all to save you from this false conviction.
But, Miss Sykes, you do realize what it would mean. You are the accused, after all. If you prove Prosecutor Blackquill innocent, then...
The only thing that matters is the truth. It's my duty to find out what that truth is. Simon, please give me this chance. The chance to shake off this fear that's been with me for 7 years and to face the truth. Athena's being so brave confronting her past like this. This might really be the last chance to save them both. Prosecutor Blackquill, please testify one more time about the incident 7 years ago. Fine, but your efforts will surely be in vain. For I am not a man who can be cut down easily. Here we go, Simon. Let me hear the voice of your heart.
Damn, Athena. I went to the Cosmos Space Center with the intention of killing Dr. Sykes. But when I got to the robotics lab, I found Athena there instead.
Oh, happy to see Athena. Oh.
I would not be swayed from my purpose, so I waited for Dr. Sykes to return. And then I committed the act. Ah, how cathartic it was.
His emotions are very guarded, and his defenses are way up. He steeled his will as if he'll never let his secrets be known.
Oh, I don't know about that. We've got a couple of strong wills on our side, too. Prosecutor Blackquill isn't the killer, and we're going to prove it.
What was he trying to do that day? If we approach it from that angle, I bet we can find an emotion that just doesn't add up.
Really? Okay, so after this point, there's a happiness. Still anger here, but the happiness replaces the anger. Let's try this first.
Got it!
This feeling of happiness. Even though the person you were looking for wasn't there, you felt happy. Why is that? Simple. When I was looking for Athena and hadn't found her yet, I grew worried. So, when I saw her in the robotics lab, I was happily relieved. Merely that.
Eh?
Just now you said that you went to the Space Center to kill Dr. Sykes. But the first thing you did was look for her daughter instead? I had no intention of harming Athena, so I wanted to confirm that she was safe first. It was just a part of my plan. Nothing contradictory about that. The second I find an inconsistency, he cuts it down.
Simon knows the principles of analytical psychology. There's less noise now, but I don't see any instabilities we can latch onto.
I was afraid of that. We'll just have to keep chipping away at him then, bit by bit. Could you update his testimony, Athena?
You got it, boss.
I went to the Cosmos Space Center with the intention of killing Dr. Sykes.
Oh,
When I found Athena in the robotics lab, I was relieved. But I would not be swayed from my purpose, so I waited for Dr. Sykes to return.
oh, but this is different. This changed.
And when she did, I plunged the katana in. All right, here.
Got it!
Not even you can falsify your emotions, Prosecutor Blackquill. What? When you said that you killed Dr. Sykes in your testimony, you felt sadness. Why would someone who had lain in wait to kill her be sad at her death? Such an obvious attack. Yes, I felt sadness, but it wasn't for her. Felt sorrow for Athena and her circumstances. He can't be talking about that, can he?
I was just a convenient subject for her research.
Dr. Sykes was so intent on her research,
she forced her daughter to undergo experiments. My objective was to save Athena from an obsessive scientist who treated her own daughter like a research subject. What? I went to the psychology lab first. That's where I would usually find Athena playing. But that day was different. I heard someone crying in the robotics lab next door. Was Athena being subjected to yet another experiment? I thought as I went to see. Conveniently, Athena had cried herself to sleep, so all I had to do was wait and kill. So that's why he was relieved when he saw Athena. But is this story really true? Not sure how much to believe. Mr. Wright? How you doing, Athena? Still hanging in there? I'm a lot stronger than I look, boss. Damn right you are. Now, take a look at this. The noise level actually increased. Oh, did it now? It went up? Never seen him do that before. Prosecutor Blackquill is lying somewhere in his testimony. As a matter of fact, he's piling lie on top of lie in an attempt to make his claims sound more believable. He's trying even harder to suppress his true feelings, and that's what's causing the noise. How in the world should I approach this? An evidence-based approach might work if I can find a contradiction. Otherwise, I should look for an inconsistency in his emotions. Oh boy. There are no flaws in my testimony, and his boldness is prepared to give his verdict. Give up on this lost cause, and let the law free me of these chains already.
Objection!
I don't think so. Not while I'm around. Now, contradictory testimony or inconsistent emotions. Which should I tackle first? Oh my god, I don't know. All right, hang on. Is anything contradictory? Let's go for his emotions first. If for no other reason than to refresh my memory on what he just said. Okay, let's look for inconsistent emotions. Got it, boss. But if you want to try looking for a contradictory statement instead, just let me know. I can easily switch over. All right. I heard crying from next door. Of course I was worried. All right, it would help if I could remember. Let's see. I hurried over and opened the door to the robotics lab. But before I could lead Athena out of there, curse my luck, Dr. Suggs came in. I refused to hand Athena over, so I had no choice but to kill my mentor. Oh. Okay. If you see an unusual or out-of-place emotion, just point it out. Is there really an inconsistency in his emotions, though? We could take a break and go back to looking for a contradictory testimony. Let's try again. I still think I can find an inconsistency in this emotion, so let's press on. Okay. But if you ever want to switch, I'm ready anytime, hint, hint. Let's see. All right, yellow is surprise, right? Yellow is surprise. Blue is fear or sadness. Fear or sadness, right? Okay. Still surprised, I think. Anger and surprise. Then sadness and anger. All right. All right, the sadness went away. So So he's relieved that she's okay, but he's still surprised. But more surprised. Oh, hell. I don't know.
Got it!
How odd. Why would you register surprise at opening the door to the lab? All right, fine. I'll explain if I must. What surprised me was Ponko. That toy figure attacked me. Oh. Dr. Sykes knew full well of my plan to rescue Athena. But she couldn't stand God over her daughter 24 hours a day. So Dr. Sykes had Ponko do it? That's right. She ordered Ponko to forcibly remove me on sight. So I slashed Ponko up with that katana that was there in the lab. That rickety old puppet wasn't worthy of that fine blade. That's right. It's happening again. There's even more noise now. Whoa. It's at 100% now. What's going on here? Whenever we find an opening, he covers it up with lies. We'll never get rid of the noise at this rate. That's pretty hard to keep telling coherent lies like that. His mind and will really are as sharp and strong as a katana. All right, what should I tackle first this time? Well, let's try the testimony because I think I can counter that. I think there might be an inconsistency in Prosecutor Blackwell's testimony. All right, let's give it a thorough check then. With a feeling of dread, I opened the robotics lab door. Just then, Ponko attacked me. I retaliated by cutting it into pieces. Okay. All right. Pretty sure. Where is it? This one.
Objection!
Compounding lies with more lies is never the answer, Prosecutor Blackquill. Take a look at this photo. That's the photo of the supposed moment of the murder, isn't it? How many more times must I see that which damned me for my sin? The ironic thing is, I think this picture is actually going to be your savior now. See the blood stain at the end of Ponko's arm, where it was severed with the katana? I hope you aren't claiming it's the robot's blood, Mr. Wright. No, most likely the blood was transferred there from the bloody katana. The katana already had blood on it? So then it must have been the victim's blood. That's right. But if that's the case, we found a glaring inconsistency. You said in your testimony that you cut up Ponko and then you killed Dr. Sykes. But in spite of that, the victim's blood is already on Ponko's arm in this picture. What? But that couldn't be. Exactly. In order for the blood to have transferred from the sword to Ponko's arm, the victim must have been stabbed first before the robot was slashed. In other words, Prosecutor Blackquill, your entire testimony is nothing but one big giant ball of lies. Ugh! Tell the court the truth, Prosecutor Blackquill, now! You have no idea what you're doing! His voice, there's so much discord! I'm hearing not just one or two, but a bunch of rampaging emotions here. It's hard to describe. It's like a violent whirlpool or something. Phoenix Wright, you will pay for this. Never have I been forced to reveal so much, but the rest I'll take to my grave. Prosecutor Blackquill, you are on the witness stand. You are obligated to tell the truth. Isn't that the rule of the courtroom? All these complex emotions, they seem to be flowing from one source. I think whatever he really saw that day is what's causing these feelings. Right? Whoa. How? Okay, following the sound of crying, I opened the lab door and then I saw it, that terrible scene. Wait, what? But before I could lead Athena out of there, curse my luck, Dr. Sykes came in, and no choice but to kill my mentor. Terrible scene? What terrible scene? She's crying.
Got it!
When you opened the door and saw Athena, you became overwhelmed by your emotions. Isn't that right, prosecutor? You should know better. And though it's pathetic, I admit I'm terrified to speak of it. Prosecutor Blackquill, Ms. Sykes is innocent. I will always believe that with all my heart. Now, can't you find it within yourself to believe in me too? Athena is innocent, huh? Can you honestly say you believe that to be true, right, Dono? I give you my word. Now, tell me what you really saw when you opened that door. Curse you, Phoenix Wright! Oh boy. It was a tragedy, one I'll never forget. When I arrived at the lab, Dr. Sykes was already dead. She was lying on the operating table, while the bloody katana lay on the floor. And standing between the two, covered in blood, was Athena. She smiled with a far-off look in her eyes as she sweetly said, "Something's wrong with Mom, so I'm taking her apart to fix her." Crap, I was right. That's what I saw. And now you have it. The truth that you so desperately wanted. No. Okay, let me clarify what I mean by I was right. I mean she tried to fix her. Apparently, obviously, someone came in and killed Dr. Sykes before Athena arrived. And Athena had Punko put her on the table or something and tried to fix her. Prosecutor Blackquill finally tells the truth, and this is what it is? It's beyond devastating. I tried to take my mother apart. I So it was me. I'm the one who killed my mother.
Athena! As I said, right. Truth isn't always pretty. Murder, disassembly on an operating table, a scientist using her daughter as a guinea pig. Sadly, it appears that my theory was correct after all.
Objection!
It's true that Athena didn't like her mother's research, but you dare cast aspersions on my mentor by claiming Athena was used in such a manner? Dr. Sykes could be awkward with people. But she loved her daughter with all her heart.
She loved me?
Your mother hated to see you suffer because you could hear the voices of people's hearts. She wanted to set you free of your pain, so she worked tirelessly on her research. Do you remember those headphones you hated so much?
Yes. My head hurt every time I wore them.
No, Athena. It's just the opposite. They emitted sound waves to nullify emotional input from the voices of the people around you. Your power was much stronger then than it is now. And those headphones were what enabled you to carry on with everyday life.
No, but that can't be true. Then why would I have done something like that to somebody who loved me so much?
Her love for you was real, that I can guarantee. That's why I knew that what happened had to have been some kind of mistake. I couldn't let you be punished for it. So you took the blame yourself. You and your mentor are more alike than you know. Unca was a witness, so I put it in the case, held Athena close, and vacated the lab. I threw Punko away in the boarding lounge trash chute. And I hid the case on the Space Center grounds. It would seem that we now have all of the facts of this case.
Hold it!
No, not yet! You can't end like this.
Objection!
Do not disgrace yourself, Mr. Wright. The truth has been revealed. Or are you the type of man to turn your back to the things that disagree with you? I'm not, but this... I can't give up now. I have to say something, anything, even if it's a bluff. I've always managed to pull through that way in the past. I have to make it work. The defense is prepared to present evidence.
Mr. Wright,
Yes, Athena.
it's okay. You can stop now. I don't want you or anyone else to suffer any longer for my sake.
Athena, what are you saying?
You killed my mother. That's the truth. It's just like Prosecutor Edgeworth said. We have to face it, no matter how much it hurts. I admit my guilt. But could I please be granted just one chance to tell everyone what I recall?
It appears Miss Sykes is much braver than you, Mr. Wright. What say you, Your Honor? In light of her courage, will the court give Ms. Sykes this opportunity to confess? Very well. Then, if you would, please take the stand, Ms. Sykes.
Thank you for letting me do this, Prosecutor Edgeworth. And thank you, Mr. Wright and Prosecutor Blackquill, for letting the truth be known. Now we can finally move forward, and everyone's suffering can come to an end.
Athena. Prosecutor Blackquill will be cleared, and the Dark Age of the Law can come to an end. Yes. Admit your guilt and bring everything to its conclusion.
I killed my mother. My memory is still a little hazy, but there's no question I remember it. I remember the weight of the weapon in my hands, and the feeling of it stabbing in deep. And I remember the warmth of her blood as it flowed down the handle onto my fingers. Your Honor, please, find me guilty.
I dare say, these are all memories that no one but the murderer would have. I see. Thank you for your confession. I believe this trial has gone on long enough. But before we conclude, does anyone have a counter-argument?
Objection!
I do, Your Honor. Mr. Wright.
But Mr. Wright, why? I killed her. I remember it now. Any counter-argument now is pointless.
Objection!
Don't tell me you've forgotten one of the basic tenets of lawyering. Always believe in the client to the bitter end. Athena, you are not a murderer.
Objection!
I said that you never changed, but could you have actually regressed in these 8 years? I won't stand for your childish emotionalism getting in the way of the truth. Emotionalism? Don't lecture me on matters of the heart, Edgeworth. Because I can see straight into a person's soul.
I did a little research. I looked into those special Cyclops you mentioned, Mr. Nick. Athena isn't trying to keep anything from you on purpose. For some reason, part of her heart and her memories are sealed off even from herself.
There's still a chance somewhere deep in Athena's heart. There might still be a memory that not even she knows about yet. It might be like looking for a grain of sand somewhere in the cosmos, but still, that memory might contain a new fact that could prove her innocence. I hope for everyone's sake that you are not just bluffing, Mr. Wright. Now then, is there or is there not a problem with Ms. Sykes' confession?
My memory is still a little hazy, but there's no question I remember it. I remember the weight of the weapon in my hands and the feeling of it stabbing in deep. And I remember the warmth of her blood as it flowed down the handle onto my fingers.
There's definitely something wrong with her memory of the event, I can just tell. If there's a problem with her confession, please prove it to this court now.
No fingerprints, right? That doesn't help me.
All right, let's look at this a little bit more closely.
Okay, what's that piece of paper or cloth or whatever at the base of the seat? Okay. Victim staff jacket. No. Moon rock was stolen. Yeah. Oh, nobody's mentioned this yet. The moon rock. But I'm not sure. Will this help? I don't suppose Ponko's testimony is part of this, is it? All right. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. The victim's blood was only found on the blade. There it is. There it is. I found it. I found it. I found it. I found it. I found it.
Isn't that the katana the defendant used to kill the victim, Mr. Wright?
I respectfully and vehemently disagree, Your Honor. Well, I remember it. I remember holding the weapon and getting blood on my fingers.
That's exactly my point. If blood really did get on your fingers while you were holding it, there should be blood on the handle.
Please focus on the handle of this sword. There's not a trace of blood on it. And therefore,
This is clearly a contradiction of the facts.
you're right.
Oh my!
Objection!
The defendant must have simply confused a portion of her memories. She mentioned it was hazy to begin with, and we can't mull over every minor detail.
Objection!
But she also said there's no question I remember it. A fact we can't ignore.
In that case, why don't you explain what this contradiction with her memories means?
Gladly.
Just give me a second to think of something. I want to say that Athena didn't stab anyone. She said it herself that she remembers the feeling of committing the act. Think, Phoenix, think. What could the contradiction with Athena's memories mean? Different weapon? I mean, yeah, you can't really wipe blood off of silk. Especially not braided silk.
Miss Sykes said blood flowed down the handle, but the katana's handle is spotless.
So doesn't it follow that the defendant must have used a weapon other than the katana? What are you up to this time? This is it. This time I found just the thing to end Athena's nightmare for good. Weapon that took Dr. Sykes' life was the katana. That much is sure. So if I can show a possibility that Athena didn't use the katana, it could help me prove her innocent.
A different weapon, you say? What weapon would that be exactly?
Right, of course you would ask that. I can see you're floundering, Mr. Wright. Did you speak without thinking again, as always?
How does he do that? But I can't back down. Not here, not now.
That's right, I did. Because it's so obvious it doesn't require any thought. What did you just say to me? Okay, so maybe that was an exaggeration, but there has to be something. Was there some other bladed weapon in the robotics lab that day? Maybe there's something in one of the crime scene photos. Well, toolkit? Maybe? Wait a minute, there is something. There's a high probability that that was in the lab. That? What's that? Don't have that particular weapon here in evidence right now, but I do have a piece of evidence just like it. Wait, what? Oh, the box color? Really? Other than the katana, this is another blade that may have been at the crime scene. May have been.
Take that!
You know, toolkit.
But that's a murder weapon in the Clay Tarrant case.
Yes. This is the knife that took Mr. Tarrant's life. But there may have been a knife just like this at the scene 7 years ago as well. Toolkits containing utility knives like this are issued to the Space Center employees. And a robotics lab especially would naturally have one of these around.
Objection!
But besides the katana, no other bladed weapon was found at the site. It was in the investigation report, if you didn't know.
Objection!
Of course I knew that. Once you told me just now. Then here's something else you already knew. There was a toolkit at the scene, but it didn't contain any blades. Here's a photo of its contents. It's missing something! You're right, I don't see any kind of bladed tool. Fine, but isn't there something odd about the design on these handles? So they're out of order. Therefore, there was no other bladed weapon in the room.
Objection!
I disagree. This toolkit contained a knife. And what proof do you have of that? Oh, don't tell me your eye for art is failing you too, Mr. Edgeworth. You are the last person in the world who should be criticizing my aesthetic sense. Look at the way you dress. Look at the way I dress. Look at what you don't drive, actually. Look what I drive. Look at your hair, for God's sake. Oh no, he is simply watching out for your ocular health. Please proceed, Mr. Wright. Notice that the handles of each of these tools have a sort of design on them. Oh, I see that they do. But what significance does it have? It's clear that one of the tools is missing from this kit. If we rearrange the tools into a specific pattern, we might be able to tell which part of the overall design is missing. Is that the theory your pitiful sense of aesthetics helped you come up with? Edgeworth, just let it go, man. Show the court then, if you would. What pattern or design would we see if we were to rearrange the tools?
Take that!
And what design is this supposed to represent? The Galaxy logo, Your Honor. It's on all of the Space Center's documents and pamphlets. As you're aware, GAXA is the program that operates the Cosmos Space Center. Look how brightly the GAXA logo shines in the sunlight above the entranceway. I really dig the stars and rocket motif it's got going. GAXA, huh? Isn't that the new name of the Federal Space R&D program? I think I see it now. But yes, with just the tools shown in this photo, the red A part of the logo is missing. And this is where the murder weapon from the Terran case comes into play. If we were to place the utility knife in the open slot, dun dun dun, it would complete the Yaxa logo. So it would. Then that means... Admit it, Mr. Edgeworth. My aesthetic sense is keener than yours. And while you're at it, admit that the weapon Ms. Sykes used could have been this one. No! Who wears a pink tie with a blue blazer? Could we please get off of my dress sense? Order the court. Ms. Sykes confessed to having a memory of stabbing the victim. Admittedly, Ms. Sykes most likely did stab someone using the utility knife. However, the weapon used to kill Dr. Sykes was the katana. Therefore, the act of stabbing that Ms. Sykes remembers couldn't that be that of Dr. Sykes. It was the stabbing of the actual killer. Quick, let's find it. Everybody, take off your clothes. Let's look for scars. Starting with you, Edgeworth. I wasn't even there. I was out of the country at the time. Oh. Later. Ow. Very well. Let's suppose for a minute that Ms. Sykes did use the utility knife. Tell me, how does that change anything? Come again? What if the katana was only being used as a decoy to conceal the true murder weapon? What if the real weapon that took the victim's life was the utility knife? Don't be ridiculous. Or are you changing the premise of your entire argument? I'm merely offering a hypothetical situation derived from your logic. Ms. Sykes could have put the blood on the katana to make it look like the murder weapon, and then concealed the knife on her personage until Blackquill carried her away. That does clear up the contradiction between Ms. Sykes' memories and the evidence. If, in fact, the murder weapon is a utility knife, then fate has dealt you a cruel hand, for you have just proven the knife's existence to the rest of us with your own logic.
Objection!
The prosecution is attempting to lead the court.
Objection!
You're the one attempting to lead the court, Mr. Wright, by forcing us to forget the facts of this case. Need I remind you that there were only 2 people in the lab at the time of the murder, and that the defendant herself recalls stabbing someone with her own hands? No. It matters not whether the murder weapon was a katana or a utility knife, as long as we know that the victim and the defendant were the only ones there. You cannot escape the fact that it was Athena Sykes who killed her own mother. I don't believe it. Why? Why does this keep happening? Every time I find a contradiction, it vanishes and the suspicion keeps coming back. It's almost as if... No, you're finally starting to get it. Your contradictions keep vanishing because the charge is true. And the suspicion keeps coming back to the defendant because that's where it belongs. Phoenix Wright, when will you open your eyes and accept the truth? Nah. No, don't buy it. Don't want to believe it. Can't be true. But what if... Mr. Wright, you fought a good fight. I think you've done all you can do. Is giving up really the only option? No, snap out of it, Phoenix. What's the matter with you? Giving in to doubt? I can't look back. Forward is the only way to go. No, Your Honor, not yet. It isn't over yet. Right. I can't lose sight of what's important. I believe in Athena, and I'll always believe in her, to the very end. Defense lawyer never gives up on his client. I have to pick myself up and stand firm. Make that brain of yours work, Phoenix. If I don't see a way, I'll just have to go back and look for one. Time to rethink this case thoroughly. There we go. I can see the fact that Athena must have stabbed someone with a utility knife. This must have been what Ponca witnessed as Athena's hug. Oh! The spy was wearing Dr. Sykes' jacket. But Prosecutor Blackquill didn't see the knife at the scene. This means that someone must have removed it from the lab before he arrived. Who could have taken the utility knife from the lab? Someone else? The third person was at the scene. If I trust in Athena, then I have to conclude that there was a third person at the scene. But according to Punko's testimony, Athena and her mother were the only two there. So then, how did this third person manage to escape Punko's detection? I know this person must have fooled Punko's facial recognition feature by covering their own face. But wait a minute, Punko has a heartbeat detection system too. Even if they covered their own face, Punko would have still detected their presence. She wouldn't have been able to tell who they were. Wait, that's it. The culprit could have covered their face and posed as which person to avoid detection. Third person posed as if the culprit posed as the victim, that would explain why Punko thought only she and Athena were there. All they had to do was take advantage of Punko's basic recognition features. The culprit used this in order to pose as the victim. Her jacket. The culprit could have posed as the victim by wearing her jacket with the ID tag on it. But that still leaves the heartbeat detection system. How did the culprit get around to that? It wouldn't have worked if Punko could detect the real Dr. Sykes' heartbeat too. So does that mean that the real Dr. Sykes was already dead by that time? If that's the case, then who did Athena stab? The real culprit. Athena stabbed the real culprit! That's it. The person Athena stabbed wasn't Dr. Sykes. It was the person who murdered her and then pretended to be her. The real culprit. Now that Mr. Wright has finally finished thinking, let us bring this to a swift end. Please give us your verdict, Your Honor, so that we can move on to hostage negotiations. You are absolutely right, Prosecutor Edgeworth. I hereby...
Objection!
I didn't say I was finished. I was only pausing for a second. Because I realized something so shocking I had to take a break to digest it. But now I know for a fact that Ms. Sykes is innocent. But Punko saw me. She witnessed the moment of the crime. Yes, Punko did witness something. She saw the hug. In other words, the moment you used the utility knife. But the person you stabbed wasn't your mother. What are you saying, Mr. Wright? The answer is simple. The person Ms. Sykes stabbed was a third person posing as Dr. Sykes. What?
Objection!
Do you really expect us to swallow that, Mr. Wright? According to the robot's statements, there was no third person there. Did you really think I wouldn't see through your ludicrous grab for time?
Objection!
After all we've been through, Mr. Edgeworth, I'm disappointed. Don't you know by now that this smile of mine means I have absolute confidence? You make that pose all the time, regardless of the facts. And you love it, don't you? Plonko's strange malfunction. Mr. Terran, you look pale. Shall I help you to the sickbay? Mr. Terran... Apollo was wearing Terran's jacket at the time! I completely missed that. Oh, this Unca Crunk here is mistaken for Apollo for Clay. Maybe Apollo is possessed by Clay's ghost. That was another case of mistaken identity caused by a jacket ID tag. All because Klonko couldn't read Apollo's facial features due to that eye patch. Like Mr. Edgeworth said, a mask could nullify the robot's facial recognition, and then... all the person would have to do is wear a jacket with the victim's ID tag to pose as her.
Objection!
Of all the ridiculous theories, what good would a silly disguise like that do?
Have you forgotten that the robot also has a heartbeat detection system? If there was a third person at the scene, the robot would have detected them. I'm sorry, Mr. Edgeworth, but that doesn't count for much, I'm afraid. Because by that time, Dr. Sykes' heart had already stopped beating. What? So does that mean? Yes, Your Honor. The person Ms. Sykes stabbed. This third person who was posing as Dr. Sykes is her mother's real killer. But that's... I'm impossible! A mask! The person I stabbed was wearing a mask! Order in the court! Miss Sykes, did you say something?
A mask? Yes, I remember him.
Athena, what is it?
I remember a man with a mask. How could he? What did he do to my mother? My head.
Miss Sykes, are you all right?
No!
What do you mean? The Black Cyclops. They're breaking. Come on, baby, you can do it. You got this, Athena. You're fine.
It's all coming back to me. Everything that happened the day my mother was murdered.
They're gone. The Black Cyclops are finally gone. You didn't really stab your mother, did you? It's all right, Athena. Just tell us what you saw that day.
I was drawing a picture. When I was done, I went to show it to my mom. I opened the door, and then...
It's all right. I'm right here. You're safe, Athena.
She was on the floor by the workbench with a katana sticking out of her. There was a handkerchief over her face, but I knew it was her by her clothes. And there was a man there.
A man? Quiet, Your Honor. Go on, Athena.
He tried to attack me. In a panic, I grabbed the knife that was there and... He dodged at first, so I only got his clothes. But I tried again.
Oh. And this time you got him, didn't you?
It did. I remember it clearly now. The knife went into the back of his hand.
Oh, no. I just remembered someone who has a scar on the back of his hand. Albright. Holy shit. I really like that guy. It's on the back of his right hand. You can see it through his gloves when he grips his... Oh, shit!
and he kicked me and I passed out. When I came to, my mom wasn't moving. I had to do something. I had to fix her, I thought. So I asked Ponko to move her to the operating table. Something's wrong with Mom, so I'm taking her apart to fix her.
So that's why she said that. Your Honor, as you can see, the defendant has just given us critical new testimony. A man was there before Ms. Sykes arrived. A man who covered the victim's face and put on the victim's jacket. This man is the real culprit. Ms. Sykes, do you have any idea who this man was?
No, I'm afraid I don't.
A few moments ago, Ms. Sykes mentioned a mask. Athena, can you tell us anything else about that?
Yes, the mask. It was my mom's Japanese theater mask. I think it was the one hanging on the wall of the lab.
This mask hanging here on the wall.
It was kind of spooky, that mask. My mom used to tell me that a no mask even has the power to turn an ordinary human into a phantom.
The Phantom? It would seem that a new suspect has emerged. And that means that all suspicion against Ms. Sykes is...
Oh, come on, Aura. You see, this is precisely why I can't trust the court system. Oh, my God. Athena Sykes is the murderer. I won't accept any other verdict.
Miss Blackquill. This is not good.
A new suspect. Where's the proof that this person ever existed? Who says it wasn't all just a dream in the little princess's groggy little head?
She's right. We don't have any hard evidence of the masked man's existence.
Objection!
Thank you, Mr. Wright. I'll never be able to repay you for all you've done. But I'm fine now, because I can say with certainty that I didn't kill my mother.
Athena, I'm so glad for you.
More and more memories are coming back now. So I'd like to say one thing if I could. Uncle came to the robotics lab at about 2 p.m. to recharge. I went to the robotics lab at about 2 p.m. for my regular recharge. Just as I was about to charge up, Athena came in and hugged Mommy Metis. And then Mommy Metis fell down. After that, I was recharging, so I don't know anything.
I see where you're going with this. If Mommy Metis was really the killer in disguise.
Right. Then he must have come to the robotics lab before 2 p.m.
Do I have anything here in evidence that can help me find this person who came to the lab before 2 p.m.? Do I? Please tell me there's something here.
Take that!
This is Prosecutor Blackquill leaving the scene after the incident at around 3 p.m. What I'm wondering is, does the video show anyone else passing by there before then? Don't see anything in the investigation report. It looks like they didn't check. Just as I thought. So if we rewind the footage and go back to around 2 p.m., we should be able to see the true culprit leaving the scene. Oh my God, are we actually going to see Fulbright? Very well then, let's take a look. Come on. There! Please stop it right there.
Oh, damn it!
It's just like you said, there is a man leaving the scene of the crime.
And it's his right hand.
Miss Sykes, do you remember this person?
That's him, I'm sure of it. He's wearing my mother's jacket. I did, but what I really... Oh, I did, but what I really wanted to see was her jacket.
A jacket on display? That's Dr. Sykes.
Can you see it? There's the slash I made with the utility knife that day. And I'm sure that knife is under that jacket somewhere.
So then, everything Miss Sykes said.
Exactly. It proves that Ms. Sykes' memory was correct. Dr. Sykes' killer arrived at the robotics lab before 2 p.m. He killed her and hid her face with a handkerchief. Then he disguised himself with Dr. Sykes' matte jacket and mask that were there in the lab. The culprit probably knew beforehand that Ponko charged up at 2 p.m. every day. So he waited for Ponko to come to the lab for her regular recharge. By leaving Dr. Sykes' jacket on, the culprit tricked Ponko into thinking he was Dr. Sykes, thereby making it look like she was alive up to that point in time. All to disguise the real time of death.
Objection!
It's a nice theory, Mr. Wright, but I'm afraid that it's just not possible. What? Why not? The victim's jacket is clearly visible right there in this video. And that right there is precisely the problem. The ID tag on the jacket at the scene confirms beyond doubt that it belonged to the victim. If the person who left the lab truly was wearing the victim's jacket, then how could it possibly have wound up back at the crime scene? Was Fulbright a cop 7 years ago? Was he on this case? What's going on? That doesn't make sense. One of the if Fulbright was investigating the case, then he could have returned the jacket, and no one would have noticed or questioned it. Edgeworth's right. If the culprit was wearing the jacket, how did it get back to the lab? The killer brought it back. The killer used the jacket as a disguise to make his escape. But in order to conceal that fact, he had to get the jacket back to the crime scene. So the culprit simply returned to the robotics lab later and planted it there. Contradiction resolved.
Objection!
Except that it would have been impossible. The only people who came to the robotics lab after the killer were Prosecutor Blackquill and the people who reported the body. And they claimed that the jacket was there when they arrived. So, when do you propose this mysterious man of yours had the chance to return the jacket? A puzzling question indeed. When did the culprit have the chance to bring the jacket back? When the body was found. The only time the culprit could have returned the jacket was when the body was found. Mr. Wright, do you realize the implication of that argument? I do. Most people, when they come across a murder, focus their attention on the body. The culprit could have taken advantage of that split second to plant the jacket. In other words, the true culprit of this case, the man known as the Phantom, was one of the first people to discover the body. I would never have thought of that. Order in the court. What is the meaning of this, Prosecutor Edgeworth? The body was discovered and reported by a group of 3 people. They were there to collect the space probe's capsule in preparation for the Had-1 launch. One of those people had a special bag to transport the capsule in. Oh, you mean the shock-resistant bag? Correct. I suppose that if the jacket was in that bag, it could have been returned to the scene of the crime without anyone noticing. I'll see to it that you get the reports on those 3 people. 3 people? You will? We should also check the facial recognition database for that robot. If this person felt the need to hide his face within the theater mask, it might mean that his facial data was once registered. Prosecutor Edgeworth, does this mean... I have to admit, I believe Ms. Sykes' memories to be credible. You win, Wright. Not that this was ever an official trial anyway.
Do my ears deceive me? Prosecutor Edgeworth, are you actually conceding?
Is it true, boss? Does this mean I'm...
I can't believe it. It's over. I won. I proved that both Athena and Prosecutor Blackquill are innocent. I'm a badass! Your Honor, I see no need to further prolong this trial.
Objection!
Hold on, Mr. Wright. Have you forgotten who's in charge of this trial?
That's right. I'm the one who's supposed to say I see no need to further prolong.
Not you either, Your Honor. Now, silence. That little princess who was truly beloved by Metis and who repaid that love with death. All these years hating Athena was the only thing that's kept me going. But what do I do now? Can anybody tell me? How am I supposed to go on? Learn to pass butter.
Ms. Blackquill.
How unlike you are. Metis was deeply passionate about her work, and she chose you as her partner. Isn't that... Shut up, Simon. You know exactly how I felt about her. Her respect as a co-worker wasn't all that I wanted.
Then what did you want from her?
Judge! Very personal question to be asking a lady. Maybe don't.
Exactly.
Aura, there's something I've wanted to say, if you will lend me an ear. I have in my possession a lead on who Metis's murderer is.
You do?
Right, Dono, you asked me about the identity of the Phantom of 7 years past.
That's right.
Phantom. Person Blackquill has been looking for, even from behind bars. 7 years ago, somebody hatched a plan to sabotage the Hat 1 rocket. The spy. But he was no ordinary spy. We knew naught about him, his background, appearance. We came to refer to him as the Phantom. At the time, I was working with the police to hunt him down. And then one day, a miracle occurred. I obtained a lead on him.
Oh, how exciting. What was the lead?
A recording of the Phantom's voice, but the quality was too poor for proper voice analysis. Yet I had hope. Aura's co-worker was a scientist who could analyze human emotions. So I asked her to evaluate the recording using analytical psychology.
And that scientist was Dr. Sykes.
Yes. A spy's greatest fear is to have his true identity discovered. In addition to Hat 1, Dr. Sykes' results and the recording were surely among his targets. But his search of the Space Center bore no fruit, so he must have started to panic.
He couldn't find them, but where could they have been?
Who is to say?
Wow, I bet he's never let that out of his sight all these years.
How in the world did you smuggle them into prison? Oh, I have my ways. What's more, my partner is especially talented at that sort of thing. I worked to lure the Phantom in by spreading rumors throughout the underworld. I was even granted permission to prosecute cases to attract the Phantom's attention. Just try to retrieve your identity, you bloody butcher, became my taunt.
And what about the results Dr. Sykes drew up for you? Was there any useful information?
Yeah, you can see for yourself. But take good care of it. It's all I have left of my mentor.
I will.
I'd better hold on to this real tight. Subject's emotions rarely fluctuate, and he doesn't experience feelings like normal people do. Psychological profile classified. Emotional output of this voice extremely weak compared to typical voices. Subject deemed to have unique psychological makeup with almost no emotional fluctuation. No emotional fluctuation, huh? A spy who experiences no emotions, not sadness, nor anger, and naturally, no fear. He is the very definition of a phantom, a monster with no heart. Don't you see? This creature is the rot that destroyed our lives and set what ails us all into motion. The Phantom indeed. A fitting name for the one who has brought darkness to our world. Well then, seems a faint image of this man has started to take shape. Based on what we have learned, I'd like all of you to conduct further investigation. This is not a formal trial, but I do want to follow protocol. If I may, I'd like to hand down my verdicts and bring these proceedings to an end. Whatever. Do what you want. You'll hear no objections from me. Yes, please, Your Honor. It's over. It's finally over. Very well. In that case, Prosecutor Blackquill, could you please take the stand? As a result of this trial, your innocence has been proven. The verdict handed down 7 years ago is hereby overturned. And now, the defendant of the current trial, Miss Athena Sykes. Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, thank you. Thank you for everything. Athena, you're more than welcome. If everyone is ready, I will now give my verdict. What? Who the hell's objecting to this? You! What? Apollo? What is the meaning of this? Congratulations, Mr. Wright and Prosecutor Edgeworth. You uncovered the truth from 7 years ago, and you saved Prosecutor Blackquill. However, I can't allow this trial to end just yet. Why? Why, Apollo? Why would you do this to us? To be continued in the next episode to the outro. Well, damn. I'm almost certain I remember noticing a scar on the back of Fulbright's hand at some point. So I had to think about it for a minute, but we've never actually done an emotional analysis of him before, have we? I thought we had, but I was conflating that with the time we had to crack some Cyclops. Damn, dude had me good. I seriously liked that guy, but apparently what I actually liked was just an act. So I'm going to give Apollo the benefit of the doubt and say that he's prolonging this trial in an attempt to find Clay's real killer rather than wait for Athena's proper trial. Yeah, remember the piece of evidence that cleared Starbuck and incriminated Athena? Discovered by Fulbright. Anywho, up here's a playlist of my Shin Megami Tensei 4 playthrough, and down here's a video that YouTube recommends. Also, if you'd like to help support a fuzzy little monster and get videos a week early, we have Patreon and YouTube memberships, and I very much appreciate everyone who's already supporting me over there. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!